Good evening. Is it audible, online students? Yeah. Good evening and welcome to this session today. Uh, Today's session is about understanding the strategy for geography optional. This session will help you in making a decision about the subject, whether you are going to opt for this optional or not. Right. Myself, MD Rizwan, I am faculty for geography, GS, and optional. With me, my colleague Shivarpit sir and Vaishali ma'am. We are a team of teachers who deal with geography optional as a subject. We also teach in geography GS part, but we three teach in geography optional. I have been teaching geography for last 20 years, and similar is my colleagues. So today we will be discussing about how to approach the subject for UPSC mains. I'll tell you something about the subject initially. You have been provided with a handout that consists of the syllabus, some of the reference books, major reference book, and some of the tips. You can go through that after the session. To begin with, see, why is optional important? Because in your entire journey of UPSC, where you are locating certainty of the subject is optional, right? If you are good with optional, out of that 500 marks, if you are certain with at least 250 to 70 marks and you are getting some average score in GS, this will help you to get an interview call, and this will also later on lead to your selection. So optional plays a vital role in consistency of your scores in the mains exam, because a student uh, may not be, you should not that depend on your GS, because GS paper 1 2 3 4, the scores may be fluctuating, but you should have a consistency of the score in the optional subject, right? Now second important thing that comes to our mind is what optional need to be selected. Now here the issue is, what should be the criteria, how I should select the optional. So there are certain things like uh, what is the scoring potential of the optional. Second is how is the length of the syllabus, right? Third will be the overlap with your GS. Generally three things students will consider when they are selecting the optional. But apart from these three, the most important thing that you have to take into consideration when you select any optional, whether you are interested or whether you are inclined towards that subject or not, right? I have seen in my past experience, the student will take the optional based on what others say. And after 2-3 months, they will discover that they are no more interested in the subject. अगर आप सब्जेक्ट में इंटरेस्टेड नहीं हो, whatever may be the potential that market is saying, others are saying, toppers are saying, you will not be able to score in the subject. If you are interested in the subject, you will have a creativity in writing the answer. You can involve in studying the subject to its depth. See, understand that optional preparation is not like GS. GS में आप क्या कर रहे हो? In GS, you are collecting the information. This is something like horizontal. You collect the information in volume, right? Optional is about analytical ability. Optional requires conceptual understanding. Optional requires depth. जब तक आप एनालाइज नहीं कर पाओगे, if you don't have a conceptual clarity, if you are not studying the subject in depth, you will not be able to score in that subject. For having all these things, the prerequisite, the primary requirement is you should have interest in the subject. जब तक आप सब्जेक्ट में इंटरेस्टेड नहीं हो, you will not be able to do justice to the optional. Therefore, I am recommending whatever optional you select it on the basis of whether you are interested or not. Let us assume that a student has selected the subject based on looking at the length of the syllabus. So somebody told that it is a short syllabus. 20 chapter तो हर optional में होते हैं. Paper 1, paper 2, 10 and 10, 20 chapters are there. But the number of topics in each chapter may differ from one optional to other, right? Some optional will have averagely 15 topics, 17 topics, like that. In geography, you'll find it is 20, 22 topics, right? And suppose you are selecting a subject on the basis of length, and you are selected because it appears to be a shorter syllabus, बट आपने जब ये इवन शॉर्ट है, आपने जब इसको स्टार्ट किया पढ़ना, आफ्टर सम टाइम यू फील दैट इट इज वेरी एब्स्ट्रैक्ट, you feel that it is not, I'm not able to locate the interest, I'm not able to understand. And if you are not able to understand, you will not be able to write the answer. The problem is reflected. If you are not interested in the subject, ये आप hide नहीं कर सकते. If you are taking the subject by compulsion, this cannot be hidden. This will get reflected in the nature of answer you are writing. I hope you are able to understand this. If you are taking the subject by some compulsion, not on the basis of interest, this gets reflected in the type of answer writing. जो आप answer लिख रहे हो, इसमें we will be able to understand that this person is organically involved in the subject, or he has just a superficial knowledge of the subject. Okay? So I will recommend that this is the first criteria. Second is reference book. Third will be overlap. And fourth, you can see what is the scoring potential. Again, second, third, fourth, ये सब कब आएगा? When you are interested in the subject, right? Next, what about geography? How is geography as an optional? Now, here, rather than how the subject is, I will tell you what kind of mindset is required for opting geography as a discipline, right? What kind of student the subject requires? What is the compatibility of a person with geography as an optional subject? The first and foremost is a candidate should have a logical bent of mind. इसका मतलब क्या है? That your mindset, your thinking, your thought process should be logical. You should always seek an answer to the questions like why, how, where, right? If you are this type of person, yes, geography is compatible. Second, you should have a ability to represent the things in different way, right? If you are a person who is simply writing from one line to last line of the paper, right, this type of representation is not suitable in geography. Geography requires creativity in answering the things. So suppose I am studying the type of soil, I can write it as paragraph from one line to end. 100 words I can write. The other way is I am drawing one diagram, I am drawing one map, and half paper I am writing sentences. This is more appreciated in geography, right? So first thing is logical bent. आप अगर scientifically सोचते हो, then geography is your area. Second, you have sound grip of writing the things in different formats. Means you are able to draw the diagram, you have that ability to draw the map, draw the flow chart. Yes, you can do wonders in geography. But if you are like very theoretical mindset, where you are ratifying the information and you want to just omit all that you are ratified, geography will not be compatible for you, right? Geography cannot be prepared. Please understand this. Geography cannot be prepared by ratifying the information. It is not about factual content. Please understand that there is concepts required for in geography in every chapter. All the 20 chapters, that is paper 1 and paper 2, you have to have a conceptual clarity. Okay? So first thing is logical bent of mind. Second is ability to write, and third, ability to interlink from one topic to other, right? This is, for example, you are studying a climatology, you should be able to link the climatology with some other subjects in paper 2, right? जब तक आप linkage establish नहीं करोगे, then you will find the subject will be lengthy, right? If you are trying to ratify the things and complete the syllabus, the length of the subject will increase. So these are the three essential things that are required for selecting geography as an optional subject. Then what is advantage that you are aware? See, you are preparing GS में आप क्या पढ़ रहे हो? You are what you are studying of optional in GS. You are studying geomorphology, climatology, oceanography. You are also studying Indian geography. You are studying Indian agriculture, industry, transportation. If you club all the syllabus of GS geography, it is constituting nearly 40% of optional. Are you getting my point? If you study entire GS, this constitutes 40% of optional, means 40% of 40% of your optional is same as your GS. To be simple, 40% of the optional is same as GS, remaining 60% you have to add, right? Matlab, if you are studying optional, you can say in this way, you need not spend more time on that 40% of the syllabus in GS. It will provide you some kind of comfort in GS part. It will reduce your effort in your GS. Okay? Second is it has lot of interlinkage with other subjects. Jैसे if you study geography, you will have understanding of IR. If you study geography, you will have better understanding of economy. If you are studying geography, you can address some of the issues related to society in India, right? So you'll find linkages of geography with other subjects in GS. So it is hidden, it is not very explicit. मतलब आपको geography पता है, like you are knowing physical geography of India, you will be writing better answer for agriculture in economy. You are writing better answer for industry. You will be able to appreciate the data that is published by the government, the data that is published in economic survey, right? So this advantage are inbuilt with the subject. So these are like pros. Then what are difficulties in geography? Difficulty is, first thing is the length of the syllabus that generally student will assume. तो आपको कई लोगों ने ये कहा होगा that geography is a lengthy subject, right? But here, are you really quantifying what is that extra length of the subject? कितना lengthy है, लेकिन कितना है? If I take the average of number of topics that are there in other subject, I will find 40, nearly 40 additional topics you have to read in geography. 40 topics combinedly, paper 1 and paper 2, you have to read 40 topics. But if I say 40 additional topic will help you to score something like 40 additional marks in GS, that is not a bad deal. अगर आपको 40 यहाँ पर पढ़ना पड़ रहा है, लेकिन ये 40 अगर आपको 40 मार्क्स जीएस में एडिशनल दे रहे हैं, that is a good idea, that is a good deal, right? Then why the subject appears to be lengthy? The subject is appearing to be lengthy because student is not preparing the subject according to the priority. What they do, they prepare the subject as it is, in the sense that there is geomorphology. How you start preparing geomorphology? You start from landform, what are factors controlling the landform, and you treat all the topics of geomorphology equal. But should it be treated as equal? Answer is no. The weightage that you have to assign in preparation should be differential. इसका मतलब ये है that you have to prepare according to the priority of the topic based on the previous year question, right? Just take example. Student is preparing continental drift. A continental drift is very good topic. It is very logical. It is interesting. You read it from NCRT. You have read it in GS also, and you read in the standard book like Savinder Singh. There are some 10 pages on continental drift. But student is not thinking that how much is the utility of this topic in exam. आप previous year question देखिए, you will find that if the continental drift is asked in optional, it is asked only for how many marks? 10 marks. 10 marks से ज़्यादा इसका utility नहीं है, but the student has prepared to the extent that he can write 500 or 600 words also. क्या ये इतना ज़रूरी था? Answer is no. What you have done? you have wasted lot of time in preparing the topic that doesn't carry much weightage in exam. What will happen because of this? Your duration of completing the syllabus will increase. Continental drift, if I say that in one class it is covered, it is there in your GS, read NCRT for this. With this content also you will be able to write answer for 10 marks. Yes or no? जितना क्लास में हुआ उसके बेसिस पे आप ये आंसर लिख पाएंगे. लेकिन स्टूडेंट इन द desperation or in the assumption that I will become perfect in that topic, what the student is doing is preparing the topic from multiple sources and unnecessarily burdening. तो आपको ये देखना है whether the topic is relevant or not. Now in geomorphology, continental drift is only for 10 marks. I have to write maximum how many words? 150. That I find it in the class note. If I rectify that, then also my work is done, right? That is done in the class itself. What is more important topic? The topic is denudation chronology. Topic is erosion surface. लेकिन क्या होता है? The student is not focusing on this क्योंकि इसको लगता है कि ये difficult है या GS में नहीं है. But when the UPSC is asking 20 marker on erosion surface, the content that the student is having is very less. Why this has happened? Because when you are preparing, you have not emphasized on this topic. I hope you are able to understand this, online people. तो आपको क्या करना होगा? In every chapter, you have to prioritize. You have to list out the topic where they carry more weightage and where they carry less weightage, right? And you have to emphasize on the topics that are more pertaining to what? Optional. जो optional related topic है उस पे आप more time spend करेंगे and you have to work more on that. जो GS से overlap है, in that case the marks will be only 10 and you will be able to anyway write the answer, right? So first thing you have to do is, now if you follow this strategy, what will happen? The subject will appear to be short, right? I am telling you how to reduce the length of geography. Now if the student works in a very static manner, एक topic लिया and try to complete it entirely and read it from all the sources and then move to next topic without looking at previous year question paper, without looking at the scope of that topic. If you keep on preparing the topic one after the other in the same way, what will happen? The length of the subject will increase. आपको सब्जेक्ट काफी बड़ा लगेगा and you will not be able to complete the syllabus, right? So that we will teach you how to prioritize on the subject, right? So this will be the way by which you can handle the volume of subject. तो दो एडवांटेज आपके पास है. वन इज ओवरलैप, सेकेंड इट इज हेल्पिंग यू टू गेट सम मार्क्स in GS, additional mark in GS, and you can manage the length of the subject by following a proper strategy. ठीक है? Then next issue that comes is, what is the scoring potential of the subject? How much you can score? Now if you see what was the highest score in last 5 to 6 years, the scores are hovering around 300, 315, 280, 280 to 315. This is the range where the maximum score lies in last 6 to 7 years, right? But the difficulty is reaching up to 280 is also not the easy task, right? Why it is so? Because geography is based on two things. Scoring in geography based on two things. One, what you know is 50% and what you write is 50%, right? There should be bridging of gap between what you know and what you write. Many students will think that I know the subject, directly I can go to the exam hall and write according to the question. ऐसा नहीं होगा. If you want to score in the subject, you have to work on language and representation of the subject that needs answer writing practice. जब तक आप प्रैक्टिस नहीं करोगे, you will not be able to improve your score. Why there is difficulty for the students who, and why they are not able to score in the subject is because student का ध्यान एक ही तरफ है, that is understanding of the subject. They give least importance to writing or practicing the answer, right? We keep on telling the students in our class कि भाई आप लिखिए, but out of 100 200 students in a class, there will be only 25% who really care about writing the answer. Most of the student have this attitude, पहले सब्जेक्ट तो कंप्लीट कर लेते, रेक्टिफाई कर लेंगे, ठीक है आपने रेक्टिफाई किया, but if you are not able to write in an appropriate way, if you are not able to represent the things in an appropriate way, it is not appreciated by the examiner and you will not be able to get marks, right? Getting marks will be decided by what you write and how you write, not what you know. What you know is important, लेकिन how you are representing the things, that will require practice. ठीक है? Next is how you can, let's say those who are beginning the optional, we'll take up the queries after this. So those who are beginning, suppose you have now finally decided that I should take geography as an optional subject. So where you should begin? You should begin with the foundation. You should begin with basic reading. You should start reading NCRTs of 11th and 12th class, right? First complete NCRTs of 11th and 12th, then complete your GC Leong, right? That is Certificate in Physical and Human Geography. One book is there, Oxford Press book, GC Leong. Usko padhiye. Then get acquainted with the atlas. Have familiarity with the atlas. Know the atlas, how the locations are, what are types of map. So just go through the scan the atlas, right? That will inculcate you some kind of we can say familiarity. You will be accustomed of referring the atlas. These are the three essential things: एक NCRT 11th and 12th class, GC Leong and atlas. After that you have to start reading the standard books, right? What are standard books? See, there are books for every chapter, right? For every chapter there you'll find one book, but to comprehend you can read physical geography by Sabinder Singh for first 5 chapters and physical geography by Made Simple series. रूपा publication Made Simple में एक volume आएगा, volume 1, that you can read. This will cover nearly 80% of the syllabus of section A of paper 1, that is principles of geography or physical geography. ठीक है? Paper 1 section B, I have given this in the handout also. In section B, human geography, you will rely on 2-3 books. You can rely on Majid Hussain sir का जो book है Human Geography and Geographical Thought. You can upgrade over this by referring R.D. Dixit, Geographical Thought by R.D. Dixit. And one more, that is Social and Economic Geography by Made Simple, that is second volume. रूपा सीरीज का, रूपा पब्लिकेशन का 2 वॉल्यूम आता है. वॉल्यूम 1 यू आर रेफरिंग फॉर सेक्शन ए, वॉल्यूम 2 यू आर रेफरिंग फॉर सेक्शन बी. फॉर पेपर 2 यू कैन रेफर entirely one book plus some additional material. Sir will be telling about that. You can refer D.R. Khuller and whatever he suggests. ठीक है? Now, as far as classes are concerned, see, you can, there are many students who will think that I can prepare geography by self preparation. कर सकते हैं, no problem. You can prepare the subject by self also, but the issue is whether you are able to complete the syllabus in a time bound manner. क्या आप 5 months में ये syllabus complete कर पाएंगे by self study? And sometimes it is difficult to interpret the topics based on UPSC exam, right? If you are doing a self study, for that classes will help you to comprehensively cover the syllabus in a time bound manner. I have seen in the past some students they start with self. अब self study में ये होता है that your mind is not very much focused because you are not having a proper direction. After one or two chapters, you may feel that I will not be able to justify or I will not be able to do justice to this subject. आपका mind divert होगा. Geography or any optional what you are studying by self, you will find that this is not good, something else will be good. You start experimenting. तो 2 महीने आप उस सब्जेक्ट के दिले देंगे, then you will shift to some other subject. That also if you are preparing by self without any guidance, without any direction, again you will shift to some other subject. So when you are attending the class, you will get the structured way of dealing with the topics, right? And it will be completed in a time bound manner. So in our classes, the batch which we are starting on the 7th of July, we will be completing this in another 5 months, right? Our duration of the course will be 5 months. In this 5 months, 2.5 hours of lecture, 6 days a week, right? And this syllabus will be covered by 3 teachers. I'll be covering part of paper 1, right? Nearly 7 chapters of paper 1. Ma'am will be covering some 3 chapters of paper 1, and Shivarpit sir, will give you the segregation. He will cover most of the areas of paper 2, right? So I will tell you the division. I'm just giving you a rough sketch. So syllabus in 5 months, 2.5 hours of class, sometimes may get extended also. And in this course, we'll see that all the topics are covered in a balanced manner and according to the requirement and recent trends of UPSC exam, right? ये आपको important है, right? As a student, this you are, whether you are studying here or at any other place, you have to first inquire how is the subject covered in a balanced way. How it will be if I say that I will teach you geomorphology for 2 months, climatology for another 1.5 months, and remaining entire 18 chapters in 1 month. ये क्या है? It is imbalanced. If I teach geomorphology for 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 10 months, or 1 year also, what is the scope of that chapter? कितने marks आपको आएगा? कितना question आएगा? It is only 35 to 40 marks. If you are studying it for 10 months also, you will be getting only 35 to 40 marks question in your exam, right? Therefore, if you look at the present pattern of question paper of geography, it is required that the student is studying every chapter and every topic to the sufficient level. I hope you are getting this point. हर टॉपिक आपने टच किया है. Every topic you have some content. Every topic you have at least 200 words of content to be written, right? That is known as a balanced approach, right? So what we have done in 5 months, we'll see that the topics are covered in a balanced way according to the weightage that they have in your question paper. It is not imbalanced, right? Our strategy is, that is why there are 3 teachers. You are getting a benefit of expertise of all the 3 teachers who are teaching the subject. Let us say that, assume if I am only one teacher teaching geography, I am expert in paper 1, right? When I enter into paper 2, what is my feeling? I will feel that, अरे ये तो cover हो चुका है. Then I start saying this to the student, okay, that was covered there in geomorphology, please refer that, right? That is covered in climatology, please refer that, right? But when I am teaching geomorphology and climatology, when sir will teach Indian climate and Indian geomorphology, he is not taking my reference there, right? Definitely he will consider that you know the basic things taught in geomorphology, but what he will do, he will teach that topic again from scratch, right? That is the benefit of having multiple teachers in the subject, where there is no ignorance or there is no, we can say, lighter approach towards any part of the syllabus. Every topic is done with the serious approach, right? So 5 months, balanced coverage of the syllabus, Then what you are getting additionally, we will be providing handouts. Class notes to hum likhayenge. Apart from class notes, we'll provide you handouts and printed material. There will be booklets, booklet 1 and booklet 2. This will be additional printed material. Printed material will be supplementary to reduce your dependency on number of books, right? What is our idea? Idea is that you should refer less and gain more concepts, right? आपको reference कम करना पड़े, but you should have a good conceptual clarity of the subject. That is our motto. Then apart from this, for almost every chapter, completion of the chapter, we will have a test that will help you in answer writing practice. After every major topic, we will give you assignment that will help you in answering the or answer writing practice then and there. Just say I have covered, let us say, the topic of landscape development theory. After that, I'll give you assignment. You can submit it. We will evaluate and give. This will continuously help you to improve your answers, right? So this will be there as a part of your course. Apart from this, जैसे आप अभी लिख रहे हो, you are attending the class now, right? When you are attempting in 26, right? You will be writing your mains in 26, but your course will be finished by December. With your course, there is included additional test series that you will be writing after the prelims exam. Means what? It is a kind of hand holding. We don't want to leave you, right? Many times this problem arises that you have done the class, after that nobody is there to take care of any doubts, right? We are here. You can come after the prelims, write the test, and this will also make you prepared for the mains exam, right? So this will be the overall strategy, overall approach in the classes. And our more focus is to make the student self dependent and self sufficient in writing the answer, and we are more focused on giving a conceptual clarity in the subject, right? We don't focus on superficial information. Optional classes will be different from how we are doing GS. GS is with different approach. Optional is also different. Your mindset when you are attending the optional class also should be accordingly, right? So these are some things that are related to optional. Now we can take some, you can raise some queries or doubts, whatever you feel, so that we can address here. This is somebody is asking, I'm confused in choosing between geography and agriculture. I have been graduated from geography, but I like agriculture portion. देखो, agriculture, Priyanshu Singh is asking this. See, one simple thing, agriculture, economics or geology, these are all specialized subject. इसमें आप तभी जाइए जब आपका background है, right? If you are graduate and postgraduate in agriculture, then you can study agriculture, right? If it was the reverse condition, then I think that was more appropriate. If you were from agriculture background, you would have opted for agriculture. There are lot many technical things in agriculture option that you will not be able to really manage. Therefore, you can think of optional from some major general subject. You can look at geography, anthropology, sociology. I'm not saying that only go for geography. But if you are interested, you can go for geography. Otherwise, agriculture will be difficult for you.
Suraj Nagi says, so can we cover the syllabus along with the answer writing in 6 months approx? I don't have geography background. And the second question is, sir, answer writing practice questions also provided as in not audible. So am I audible? See, the mode of teaching that I would have is that first we will choose a topic. On that topic, whatever questions have been there in the past 15 years, I'll make you write those questions. Then we are going to discuss the topic at length, and then all those questions will be discussed. Okay. You are encouraged to write the answers, and once you have written the answers, your answer scripts will be corrected and the suggestions will be provided to you. Okay. Once you cover the complete syllabus, uske baad bhi if you want to write the answer, you can bring those answers to us.
So the half of the question, can it be completed in 6 months? Yes, the initial part of the preparation can be taken up in a span of 6 months, but then of course you need to go a lot of refinement in your answer writing, which will happen eventually. I mean, 6 months, the initial preparation, 6 months is good enough. Like sir said, 5 months duration for the initial optional course. But refinement in answer writing comes with practice, comes with time. So that is an ongoing process.
So Puneet says, sir, I'm already enrolled in the GS course plus ESAT. I'm still in college. It would not be overwhelming. So how can I handle it or manage? Yes, difficult. It would be a bit difficult for you to manage. But see, if you are preparing for the option, whatever option you're taking, this is the best time. Because once you enter into the months of November, then you start focusing more towards the prelims examination. And then this optional subject takes a backseat. So idea is, if you are going to take up classes for any of the option for that matter, this is the best time to study the option subject, because uske baad se you completely enter into the prelims mode.
Priyanka online has a question. What type of questions are asked in the optional paper? These are are these very surprise questions? There is no background in the subject. Will be comfortable in handling such questions? See, mostly the students who take up an optional geography optional, let's say, they will not have background in the subject. We understand that. I mean, there is no such prerequisite for you to be taking up geography optional only if you have background in the subject. There are many students from other streams who take up geography optional. Yes, of course, the logical understanding is needed. You must have a basic logical bent of mind to be able to develop interest in the subject. So you need not have per se the background, that is not needed. What type of questions are asked in the optional paper? The questions which are asked in the optional paper, now broadly, if I have to define, see, the syllabus, there can be two types of questions from the syllabus UPSC has provided to us. One type of questions are very, very direct questions. Direct questions in the sense that as it is, the topic has been discussed in the class and you get the question. These are, of course, the simpler ones. The second type of questions are more applied. More applied in the sense, the topic, of course, will be discussed in the class, but that topic can always have some kind of interconnectedness with what's happening around us, what's happening in the world. So that becomes an example of an applied question wherein the concept of geography in the context of the contemporary happenings is asked. Now the contemporary happenings will be, this part also will be covered very comprehensively, both for the physical geography part as well as the human geography part. This part will be covered very comprehensively. Ditto, what has been taught in the class may not be asked as a question. That's my point. Of course, there is going to be some kind of twisting by the examiner, because no teacher can anticipate in a 100% manner that this is going to be the question which will be asked. But we have a broad idea of what is relevant, what's happening, how that interconnectedness is to be established. So the questions are not going to be the surprise questions. You look at the previous year's questions and you compare it with the syllabus coverage in the classrooms, there is no surprise element. The only thing which is needed is that once you are through with the theoretical understanding of every topic, you go with very rigorous answer writing practice. If that is happening, and the answer writing practice will be taken up in the class as well. The previous year's questions will always be discussed in the class, and not just the PYQs will be discussed in the classroom program. Along with that, let's say I think that there is some topic and I anticipate some questions on that topic in the coming years, then those questions will be discussed as well. So after the practice of your answer writing, the surprise element is not going to be there, right? UPSC always can surprise in the sense that UPSC has this knack of shocking the students. वो है, I'm not denying that, but if you are well prepared, ऐसा नहीं होगा that the question is out of your league. The question paper is completely non-manageable. Trust us on that. That's not going to be the way. So that is not happening.
On YouTube, somebody is asking, Pravesh Singh, geography optional, will whether there will be supplementary printed material for online students and out. Yes, it's like the portal has that facility that you can ask the doubt during the class, and the portal also has a facility where we will be uploading the handouts and material. We'll also, for online student, by post you will be getting the printed material. Regular handouts will be uploaded on the portal. एक और एक क्वेश्चन है, फैसल खान is asking that how to tackle human geography and dynamic nature of paper 2. See, when you are here, I can assure you that after attending the classes you will become more comfortable in human geography than physical. Our past experience is, because as ma'am was saying, we are covering the second section of paper 1 in more detail and more comprehensive. That is what I told you. We have very balanced approach. ऐसा नहीं होगा कि जियोमॉर्फोलॉजी क्लाइमेटोलॉजी कर दिया और then you we tell you that this is what is geography. No, we give equal time for second section, that is geographical thought, population settlement, economic geography, and models and theories. And we see that you are conceptually strong in second section also, right? Because I specialize in human geography and geographical thought. So madam also has been taking population and settlement geography for a long time. So you need not worry about that. There is some question related to paper 2, integration.
Again, Fazal Khan.
Current affairs.
Athak Tiwari, how important is current affairs in this subject? I can at least say in paper 2, yes, it would be of great importance. Even the questions related to physical geography in paper 2, they many a times are based on the current affairs. If I look at the previous questions, if suppose, God forbid, there is an event related to cloudburst in India, and there are some 2-3 instances of that cloudburst event, then there is a chance that there would be a question on cloudburst phenomena. Okay, we had a time when I guess 2021 mein it was a lightning report was released, and then we had a question directly. There were severe thunderstorms in 2018, and then we had direct question on that. So not even in case of human geography, but even in case of physical geography, at least in paper 2, there is a relevance of the current affairs. Okay. Achha, then Mr. Ranveer says, good evening. I'm ex-student Vajiram. My main score, last means I scored only 137 marks from sociology. Should I change my option, stay with the out option? First, it is better that you talk to your teacher why you were not able to score high, or why the score was so low. 137 is too low a score. So only once you think that you are not compatible with that subject of sociology, then Ranveer, you can change the option. Otherwise, first talk to your teacher.
Online Arpita has a question that my prelims would be in 27. I have background in science and I'm not sure. Confused between two optionals right now, anthropology and geography, and when should I start the preparation? Now, I am converting into more of a generic doubt because we get kind of questions as in the student is confused between geography and another optional, whatever optional it is, anthro or anything else. Go through the syllabus of both the subjects, and not just going through the listing of the topics given in the syllabus, but a few topics which you find little familiar, read through those topics as well. You can go through the PYQs as well, but the PYQs at this point in time, at this stage, will not make much sense to you because you don't know anything about the topics in depth. So the PYQs are going to make less sense to you. So give yourself a time of, let's say, a week wherein you go through a few topics of both the subjects, and then let that thought get churned inside you, in the sense that you ponder on it for a few days. And then if your instinct says that you go with optional 1, you go with it. It's a personal choice. No teacher can personally help you to take a call because it's going to be a personal decision. The best we can help you is help you make an informed choice. So for informed choice, what is needed is that a few topics of the optionals you are confused with, go through them, and then finally, based on your own inclination and your own strength as in what all geography requires, sir has discussed it with you. For example, answer writing in geography is not merely going to be a theoretical answer writing. Answer writing in geography will require you to give certain flowcharts, to give certain schematics, to give certain maps as well. If you think that your strength lies in map making, your strength lies in summarizing what you know through flowcharts, etc., great, you can go ahead with geography as an optional, right? So based on your own skill set, based on your inclination, whichever subjects you're confused with, make an informed choice on it. Because, and it's an important decision, the optional is going to stay with you for a pretty long time, 5 months, and then when you write it, marks wise also, it has good coverage. So it's going to stay with you for a pretty long time. So of course, you must be liking it. You must be interested in it. Disinterested approach towards any optional is not going to help you in this examination.
Radha says, after following the material provided in the coaching, do we still need to study books like Fuller? Yes. There would be certain portions of Fuller that I would recommend you to read. Okay. Cover to cover reading of Fuller is not advisable. Okay. Even the person who has written the book may not be able to recall if he's asked to write it again. The same thing cannot be done. So cover to cover coverage is not required. But yes, there would be certain topics that you will have to read along with the class notes and discussions. Okay.
Puneet is asking here that you have talked about mindset of going for GS class and optional classes. Can you elaborate? The mindset here means what will be your intention and thought process when you are reading that particular subject. तो जब आप GS पढ़ते हो, your intention should be very clear that I am reading it for answering the objective question. You are focusing on what? Some facts. You are focusing on some statements, right? But when you are reading the optional, your thought, your mindset, intention will be that I am going to read in depth, right? हम ये depth में पढ़ेंगे and it should be such that I will be able to write 200 to 250 words. Intention here means, or mindset means, I am reading that particular topic with the intention to logically understand, remember, retain, and recall, right? I am remembering the thing, I am retaining that information, I am able to recall that information. I am not doing it superficially. For any optional, for that matter, whether geography, sociology, anthropology, जो भी आप optional पढ़ोगे, optional में हमेशा depth रहेगा, right? I have to go beyond what is written in the book, है ना? मतलब आपको जो लिखा है ये तो समझ में आ ही रहा है, इसके बाद भी आपका इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ द थिंग इन अ रिक्वायर्ड मैनर, what is written, whether I am able to understand what is written and whether I am able to interpret according to what it is saying. This is important in optional. Suppose it is written in this way that landform is a function of endogenetic and exogenetic forces. ये तो आप समझ रहे हैं लाइन को, लेकिन इसका इंटरप्रिटेशन क्या है? Then you have to understand what is endo, what is exo, what is the type of exo, can I cite example for this? This is the meaning of interpretation of the subject.
Map-based questions, Faisal Khan. Because we don't have a map-based question in paper 1, so paper 2 may we'll be dealing with the maps. So every day you'll have to bring the atlas to the class, and then whatever topics we are doing, we are going to mark it in the atlas, and when you go back home, you are supposed to mark it in the plain physical map of India as well. Okay. So most of the entries out of 10, you can say so 8 would be familiar to you if you have practiced thoroughly. Vishali, there's a question. Pravesh.
Ankit Kumar is asking, I'm using old Savinder Singh book around 10 years old. Can I use it or should I buy new? The 10 years old, there are several editions after that. There are some new things that are added in the book, but still, for nearly 80% of the syllabus, the book has remained same. लेकिन कुछ टॉपिक ऐसे हैं जैसे अप्लाइड जियोमॉर्फोलॉजी, देयर इज सम एडिशन. But if you are taking the classes, we'll provide you some handout. You can still be with that book, not an issue.
Pravesh Singh has a question over here. How geography optional will be helpful in writing environment ecology in GS paper 3? So environment geography, you have a separate unit as a part of your section A in paper 1. And environment geography in optional, of course, is covered too much in depth. Current affairs, along with current affairs, it is discussed the conceptual understanding and along with current affairs. So that is how it helps you, because then the questions which you get in GS paper 3, they sound very familiar to the students, or they sound highly manageable to the students. So it is the students who are appearing or who are preparing for geography optional, they do not need to have a separate kind of, for the mains examination, a separate preparation for environment ecology part of GS paper 3. Prelims is going to be different, because the nature of questions which are asked in environment in prelims can be utterly factual as well. So the optional paper is not going to deal with the factual part of it. Factual in the sense, if I have to give an example, the species which are over there in news, you get questions on the species in your prelims examination as a part of environment syllabus. However, in your optional examination, geography optional, species in news has no relevance at all, as in you're not going to get questions of the species in news in your optional paper. So that is where in the prelims part there is a difference, but of course in the mains examination, your preparation of environment geography is going to be sufficient for you to be answering those questions.
Offline people, you don't have any question. See, another essential requirement is in optional thing preparation. You should be participate. It is two way in optional. GS can be one way. GS एक डायरेक्शन में चलता है, but optional में unless you show participation in the class, it is difficult for you to get the things.
Priyanshu Kumar, what are the best strategies and resources for mastering map-based questions? Will the map-based questions be discussed in class? Practice is the only strategy, Priyanshu, here. So we'll discuss the topics, we'll discuss the locations as well, but you will have to practice it yourself. It is better that if you have a GS class, you do the option right now. As I told you earlier as well, whatever option you're taking up, because once you enter into the months of November, December, the main focus would be on the prelims. Then you won't have time for answer writing, because then the test series would start. Okay, you will be focusing more towards the test series, and then you won't be able to write the answers. Then once you pick up the topic again after the prelims examination, you will find that you don't have any knowledge related to answer writing, and then it would become a bit difficult to manage in the next 2 months before the mains examination. So it is better that you juggle now. It is going to help you in the prelims as well as in the mains.
Ritosh Kumar, he's saying that previous batch student, this I'm taking more specifically, previous batch students have issue with skipping few topics to complete the syllabus on time. I think you have to just recheck with the information, because we are very confident of covering. We make the student underline the syllabus on a daily basis or at least weekly basis what we cover, right? So skipping the topic, that is rare, and if the topic is skipped, maybe one or two, that will be because the topic, nature of the topic might be very factual, but that can be only one or two topics, but not like a chapter is skipped or something like that, because all the teachers are very particular about completing all. हमारा motto यही है कि for every topic you should have at least 200 to 250 words of the content, right?
Along with that, what happens is, let's say there is a topic which is mentioned under a unit, and the same topic has been covered in some other way. The same content has been covered in some other way in some other unit. So we have done it. We are not going to repeat it, but we will of course inform you in the class that this particular topic of this unit has been covered under any other unit in this way, right? So that happens. For example, settlement geography, paper 1, you have a topic over there, urban problems and remedies. And then settlement geography, paper 2, you have exactly the same topic, urban problems and remedies. Now, when we take up urban problems and remedies in paper 1, we do it from the world perspective, global perspective. After completing through the global perspective, we complete the Indian perspective as well, because paper 2 demands the Indian perspective. So now when we come to paper 2, We are not going to repeat that topic because we have already covered it through the Indian perspective as well, not just the global perspective, but the Indian perspective as well, right there in paper 1. So at that time, the concerned faculty will inform you that it has already been covered, right? So there is a little bit of topic nomenclature getting repetitive, or the topic content being same, that will be informed to you. So it's not going to happen that any topics are missed out. That's not going to be the case.
Yeah, to add to this, as ma'am is saying, जैसे population में there is a topic of population theories. It is mentioned as Malthus, Marx and demographic transition. और ये सेम टॉपिक रिपीट हुआ है चैप्टर नंबर 10 में as the theories of population, right? Two same topics are repeated. Same you will get chapter number 9, regional planning. It is mentioned as growth pole and growth center. Who gave this growth pole theory? Perox and Bordwille. And same it is repeated in chapter number 10 as Perox and Bordwille. तो जब हम एक चैप्टर में इसको कवर कर देते हैं, there is no necessity for the student as well as teacher to repeat it again, right? So most of the time students is not understanding. He is covering, he is comparing word to word from the syllabus, right? Without linking from one. That is what I told you initially. If you don't check with the previous year question paper and treat the syllabus as a static and cover word to word, it will become huge. It is becoming unmanageable, right? तो ये स्ट्रेटेजी ये भी है कि यू हैव टू कॉम्प्रिहेंड द सिलेबस बाय लिंकिंग फ्रॉम वन टॉपिक टू अदर. अंडरस्टैंड दिस in that process, because your notes may not carry that word which is exactly written in the syllabus, but the topic is covered there. So sometimes some students might have got this impression, right? I've taken this question in particular to clarify to you that there is no issue related to coverage.
Karthik has a
Please.
Karthik has a question. I have enrolled in 2 years GS batch. Not clear with the optional subject. Should I take it now or should I take it in September batch? So it's primarily related to the timing of your optional. Karthik, again, we would recommend that you take it right now, because then you by October, November, you'll be able to complete the syllabus of optional, and the additional months you have, you can go for answer writing practice. So this is a good time. Even if you have enrolled into the 2 years GS batch, this is a good time for you to be getting enrolled into optional as well.
We are from P11 years, 4 to 5 years. We just same time in 2:30 time. So and PS4. So we just be available on video lecture.
Your GS batches will be changed. So will be shifted to another GS batch as per your choice, because you cannot have the same two classes at the same time. Yes, online videos, they are given to them, but I don't know what is the duration of those videos as of now. You can check with the administration, but yes, your GS batches can be easily changed.
Yes, whosoever over here is facing the challenge that you have optional and GS now at the same time, their GS slots will be altered. Optional remains the same, time 2:30, but then the GS batch timing will be altered. The administration will do it. All you need to do is inform them that this is the challenge. They will do it.
No, Halima, the current affairs are important. You'll have to be thorough with the current affairs, even for the option subject, at least for paper 2.
And the same student Sadia, you have current affairs being important for certain topics of paper 1 as well. So don't be under the impression that it's only paper 2. Paper 1 as well, certain topics, current affairs are going to be extremely relevant.
Pravesh Singh is asking online YouTube, sir, should be prefer physical geography as a complete book for Savinder Singh or separate book for geomorphology, climatology and oceanography? See, first 3 chapters of paper 1, that is geomorphology, climatology and oceanography, as I told you, 80% of the syllabus you will be able to cover from a single book, that is physical geography by Savinder Singh. By the same author, you are having 3 different books also: geomorphology by Savinder Singh, climatology by Savinder Singh and oceanography by Savinder Singh. You need not read separately, right? आपको हम हैंडआउट प्रोवाइड करा देंगे फॉर द टॉपिक्स दैट आर नॉट देयर इन दिस बुक. ठीक है? डोंट बाय one book for one chapter. अगर ऐसा करोगे तो 20 chapters will have 20 books when you will read, right? So you have to, as far as possible, you have to keep the reference material less. Then only it will be easy for you to complete the syllabus.
How to manage time for preparing for GS as well as option?
Time management, how to manage the time preparing for GS as well as optional. You're enrolled into the GS classes as well? All right. So assuming that you are enrolled into the GS classes as well, and then you get enrolled into the optional as well, that makes it 5 hours of classes in a day, right? Along with that, you're reaching to the institute and then commuting, etc., everything. So let's say it is 7 hours, right? Now, you go back to your rooms, you have to study the newspaper every day. Newspaper reading is going to take up another 2.5 hours. I mean, if you do it in a proper manner, it's going to consume 2 to 2.5 hours, right? Then what you're going to do is whatever you have done that day in your GS class, along with whatever optional part has been covered, you revise that, which is going to take another 3 hours, right? So that means that back home, what is needed of you is 5.5 to 6 hours of daily study in a disciplined manner. Now, if you're not going through your graduation classes or something, I think it can be done. Of course, it requires too much of discipline, hard work as well, sincerity on your part. But if you are not going through the graduation classes, this is doable. Yes, for the ones who are enrolled into graduation, it becomes a little more challenging for them. Are you into attending through with the graduation? Great, I think then. Yes, it will require hard work on a daily basis, but can be done. Needs to be done. I mean, the examination is such that it demands it. It's a demanding examination, right?
Just by revising what we have done in class, it's enough.
No, that's the stepping stone. That's the starting point. It all begins with revision. And then it needs to be supplemented with some other books as well. For example, GS, when it is taken up, the teachers are going to tell you in the class what additional material is needed. Probably some handouts are going to be provided. Probably some NCERT reading is required. Along with that, some other supplementary books, reference books are needed. So that needs to be done as well. But there will come a point when your optional will get over. That is what we are saying, that if you enroll right now, and then let's say by the month of November, you're through with your optional. From December onwards, you start with very, very dedicated preparation for your GS, right? Keep optional aside for some time and start with the dedicated preparation of GS.
So Puneet says, I'm giving my attempt in 2027. Can I take optional on 2026 mid-year and finish it by December? If you are already burdened with Puneet, GS and CSAT, and you're going to give the exam in 2027, it is advisable that you take it next year. Because 3 subjects, almost 9 hours every day, you won't be able to get time to study anything on your own. So it is better that you take it next year.
So he's asking that how many years PYQ has to be referred. I'll suggest refer from 2015 onwards, right? 14 or 15, say 10 years you can check with, because if you see the question, type of question before 2014, they were completely different. You can see a shift in the trend of a question from 2014. So 10 years it is okay.
Sir will answer it.
You cannot say with certainty what would be the mindset of the examiner when he sets the question paper. So we are going to give equal importance to both the physical aspects as well as the human aspects. Yes, the physical aspects are a bit more easy because they are very static. And human aspects, mein some kind of newspaper reading would be required, some news and some place in news, you have to mark those as well. Okay, but yes, you cannot ignore any of these.
Somebody on YouTube is asking that can humanities student choose geography as an option? Irrespective of background, you can take. Only thing I told you in the beginning is look at whether you have interest in the subject or not, right? आप humanities से है या science से है. If you are a science graduate, already you have science, engineering या कोई professional course है, you have that logical mind. So that may not be that difficult. If you are humanities, but you are more inclined towards abstractness या information gathering, then geography will be difficult. लेकिन थोड़ा आपका logical है mindset, then it will be compatible for you. classes will be on a daily basis. We will have a class for 6 days in a week. Some weeks will to start with 5 days also. Slowly will increase. So, and wherever possible, as far as somebody is again asking that if 7 days classes are there, when to read. See, it is not like that. We are giving you one day off, that is on Sunday, and some cases where the topics are or chapter is covered on Friday, let us say, so you will get 2 days also, right? It depends on how, but one day generally is off, that is on Sunday. Monday to Saturday you will have the classes. Any other doubts you have?
All right then. Thank you, students. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll meet in classes then.